So, if I could choose just one planner to plan my entire life in, it would definitely be the Laurel Denise Nancy Planner. Hey, planner friends, welcome back to the Planner Hoot, where planning meets purpose and peace. Today, I'm moving into my brand new month in my Nancy Planner for the month of December, and I'm excited to show you exactly how I set it up and also how it connects to my Rose Planner. As I previously mentioned, I use 4 different Laurel Denise planners to organize my crazy life, so I'm excited to show you why this layout is the one that keeps everything and all of my chaos organized into one awesome view. So if you're trying to get a handle on a busy schedule, multiple roles, or just want a planner that's flexible with your life, you're in the right place. Let's plan wisely for a productive month and peaceful weeks ahead as we get into the holiday season. If you saw my previous video, you know that I use the Rose Planner as my monthly dashboard, and that's where I take the bigger yearly goals that I've set for myself and break them down into smaller monthly goals and assign myself tasks to help me reach the goals. Each month I do this and it just helps me plan ahead and actually set time aside for the tasks that are going to move me that much closer to either finishing that project or meeting the goal that I've set for myself. After I move into my Rose, I actually move into my Nancy as my second step in my planning system. This is the second planner that I move into every month, and this is where all those goals that I've assigned myself and all the tasks that I've assigned myself from the Rose planner, they get broken down into my weeks and days. So I like to think of it as Rose is what needs to get done that month, and the Nancy is when and how I'm actually going to get it done. So that's why, if I had to choose just one planner out of all the 4 planners that I currently use, I would definitely pick the Nancy Planner. She gives me the space to see everything from my work things to home, content planning, appointments, all of that in one place, and it still feels manageable and not overwhelming. So it's definitely a great planner, and I absolutely love this planner. So let me flip to November so you can see how this layout works in real life. So one of the favorite things about the Nancy Planner is that every single week can look completely different, and that's okay because it's your planner, right? So some weeks may be super structured with all like the columns that I make, for example, but other weeks it might just be a basic brain dump or just a long note of things to do. So this is a perfect example. I was out of the office for a couple of days on vacation. And so I didn't force myself to use the right side of the planner because I wanted just to make sure that the things I needed to get done before I left for vacation were done. And that was all my focus. So all I did was put a long post it note here and make a long list of things that I wanted to do. And really, this was just so that I make sure I'm able to actually disconnect and enjoy my vacation without worrying that things needed to get done. And when I come back, I want to be able to jump right back into where I left off. So, this is what I love about this layout. Every week, you're structuring it to fit your life. Some weeks may be busier than others. And that's what I love about the Laurel Denise planners is you're able to see everything at once, but still customize it to how you're able to see and break down those projects into smaller tasks that you can take action on. And so this is definitely one of my favorite planners. I'm going to show you the 2026 planner just so you can see a clean slate of what the Nancy looks like. So this is, you know, my busy week here, but this is what it would look like for you if you started the Nancy on a fresh slate. So every month you're going to have that beautiful month view with your week broken down, and then in the back you'll have a tracker as well as a note page that you can do whatever you want to do with on every month. Every 2026 planner is going to have the note sections in the back that are going to be the same and consistent throughout all of the planners. So you get your plan ahead for 2027, your wins, your lessons of the year. You get a beautiful year view here where you have all of your months and all of your days. So you can really mind map what your full vision of your year is going to be. And then additionally, you get a couple of checklist pages here. You get some grid pages, and then you get some dot pages. So you can use them to design what you want, make yourself graphs, charts, just additional lists, brain dump your notes. It's very versatile and you always have them available. So that's why I would definitely pick Nancy, because you have everything in one planner. And that's just the beauty of the Laurel Denise systems, is you have everything in that one planner. This one is my 2026 planner. The one difference I will show you from my 25 to my 26 is that I did move into a Monday start. So you can see here that my 2025 was starting on Sundays and this is starting on a Monday. I think personally it just makes sense for me because I plan my weeks that way. Like I start on a Monday and end on a Friday, right? So Saturday, Sunday are my reset days. And so I just like to have Monday at the top here. As you can see, even on my Sunday start, I really just focused in on my 5 main days, and I would use this as a note space for some of the times, or some of the weeks. But most of the time, I just prefer this kind of structure where Monday through Sunday is kind of your overview here. So all of my 2026 planners are going to be Monday starts. So I'm very excited about that change. My Google Calendar, my Apple Calendar, everything already starts on a Monday. So it's just going to be easier to make that switch for all of my paper planners. So I'm excited about that. So now I'm going to move into my December with you guys fully so you can see my system and I can walk you through what I do when I move in, how I'm connecting it to my rows. Before I actually get started with specific weeks, I will grab my rows and connect my schedule first. So the first schedule, first and foremost, is my husband's schedule. So usually that's always the same. I have my, in my mind, green means go. So he's off and we're able to plan things on those weeks. And then everything in gray is when he's actually working. So in my rose planner, I do put his working shifts. I create these bonus hours that I like to block off. So I'll workload more tasks or projects that I either need to catch up on or get ahead on. I can get more done while he's working, and that frees up the weekends that he's off to plan, family things, travel things, all of the fun stuff. So I like to always see that ahead of time because it helps me structure everything else. So my workloads will be a little bit different on the weekends that he is working versus when he's off. So that's what I like to do with my bonus hours. And then I'll mimic that to my Nancy planner here. So I'll start with his schedule and then I'll fill in all of the other appointments that I know I have and all of the other due dates that are already, those are scheduled, those are ready to go. So I do mimic that into my month again so that I can always see it. My rose planner is always propped up on my desk and my Nancy is always with me. So if I leave the office and take Nancy with me, I can still see what the big deadlines are going to be. So once I have his schedule, then I'll start putting in all of the set schedules, like I mentioned. And then for my weeks, I actually start putting post-its based off of what I have in my rows. So as you can see, I already started the first week here. So if there are things that are coming up that I already know are coming up, I'll put a post-it on here. And I do this for all of the weeks usually. So I'm going to do that now. And once I do that, then I'll start designing how I want my structure to be for the week and then write in everything else. So the post-it just helps me plan ahead because I'm moving everything in from my rows. And also, let's say, this is the third week of December. If I don't have either the time or I don't want to just really fully commit on the layout just yet, and let's say I am changing out my weekly setup every week, then this is where the post-its are even better because you know that you have this meeting no matter what, right? So you're going to put that there. I just don't want to design this week yet, but you know that that's going to be there. So when you do design it, you know that that's going to be something you're going to officially commit to and write it in. So for right now, it's just here because I know that it's scheduled for that day, or this is what's going on these specific days. And now that I'm going to actually move in, I can write it in without knowing that it might change or not, because it is now confirmed. So that's just a system that I like to do. So I'm going to move into my month now, and you can just kind of see how it's going to come together. And then I'll walk you through the final spread. So here is my layout for the first week of December. So I have been using this same layout for the full year. So for me, this just works. It's a system that keeps me kind of going, and I kept it the same. Maybe I'll get a little more creative and start making some changes, but for now, this is definitely what's working for me. Now that it'll be a Monday start for 2026, it might be a little bit different. But either which way, what I like to do is I draw this main line here, which divides my main appointments, deadlines, or any due dates on this column here. And then I save this section for my to do list. And this I do go in and do every day because I'll review what I have planned in my overarching schedule of my Rose Planner. And then I'll go in day by day based off of what's either coming up tomorrow or next week, or what projects I have going on. Then my to-do list will kind of form every day here. And this is for what I use my Nancy for is, of course, like I said, my husband's schedule, or anything that we're doing for our traveling projects that are coming up. I also really schedule in a lot of my client work and my content planning things, which brings me to one of the changes that I'm going to be doing in my Nancy Planner as I move into December, just to see if it works. So, what I'm thinking is, I'm currently on this side of my Nancy Planner. What I like to do is I section this little baby column out here to write down my workout schedule. My workout schedule honestly has been the exact same for I don't know, going on maybe 2 years now, where I do like the same routine, and I do a Monday through Friday. So my weekends are my rest days. I love my rest days. And so this other section here that I create is my content slash client things. So anything that I have to do for my client work, which I do marketing consulting. So I have some small business clients that I do strategy calls with or work on some projects. So anything that's coming up with them, I will go ahead and put in this column. And now that I also have content that I'm planning out for myself and for Planner Hoot, now I'll go ahead and include that on there as well. So that brings me to that change I was referencing. I know I needed to have something more concrete on what that content planning was going to be for the Planner Hoot. So I know I want to stay obviously consistent and provide videos for you guys and also some content across TikTok and Instagram. So I needed something to keep me going and consistent with what I have envisioned. I didn't want to add a whole other planner for just content because of course that would be my fifth planner essentially. And so I just wanted to start testing out something that is going to keep me focused on those deadlines I've set for myself. So, one of the first things I did is I added those projected scheduled video uploads or launches on my Rose Planner so that it could keep me accountable. So now I know when I'm going to film for the following videos, and then now I'm going to be able to set some editing days for what's to come. But I wanted to have a bigger view of everything just on content. So that is where I'm going to bring in some of the Laurel Denise inserts. So here is what I'm thinking. And if you guys have better ideas or you have suggestions, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think. So what I'm thinking for content only is two things. I'm going to add a right side calendar. So this one is kind of just, I was messing with it and kind of seeing how I would lay it out. So I'm definitely going to do a better job on organizing this, but this is just kind of my brain dump on this idea. So I want to go ahead and have all of the videos that I have scheduled for that week, listing them out, and then putting them in the schedule of when they're going to be uploaded, along with whatever cadence I create for Instagram and TikTok. I want to hold myself accountable. So I want to have like a weekly list or a monthly list of how much content I'm going to be putting out, and then writing them into this specific calendar so that I know this is just for content, and then use the back to maybe, write some content ideas. Or if you guys ask me questions or you have some input or suggestions or want help with something in your planning system, I would take that feedback in and write it here so that this can help me move to the following month. So that's my idea on this one. And then I also was going to use a checklist insert to have the progress of the video process of everything, right? So basically, the idea of what the video is, the script, film, edit, schedule, posted, and then create additional content around that video, making it into reels and shorts, and then making some carousel posts for Instagram. So I would be checking it off as that progress moves forward for that video. So I'm going to try this for December. And the way that I'm envisioning using this is when I have my full month and week opened here, then I would put it in this specific week so that I'm going to just place it here so you can visualize with me here what it would look like. So if I'm in this current week, I'm now able to really see everything. So again, why I would choose Nancy as my everything planner, because truly you can hold a lot in this planner. So I have my full month schedule. I have my weekly tasks, to-dos, content work, my workout schedule, what I have coming up to keep in mind, my home things I want to check off by the end of the week. And then I have a view of the content that I have planned and scheduled for Planner Hoot, and be able to not only see what's coming up, but if something is coming up that week, which is this week, that I need to make sure that I'm making time to have either editing, filming, scripting, whatever I need to do in this progress to make sure it's ready for that specific upload or launch day. So this is what I'm thinking for December. and why it's going to be a little new to me, because usually my content planning is all digital, especially for my clients, because it just helps me stay a little bit more aligned with what they know the deliverables are going to be for our contract period. And then we have client folders, right? So they can see everything, yada, yada. But now I'm really able to see it more focused on the planner hoot, where I know things are coming up. So going back to my workload, I can say, okay, well, my husband's going to be working these days. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and change one film day over here, or now that's filmed, let me edit. So, it gives me the opportunity to play around with my actual week when I can see everything in an overview of what I have planned, to goals getting done, and then what's actually going to get done, because in my mind, this is a deadline and I have to get it done. So, this is what I'm working with for December. So this is going to be a new part for me. So let's see how that works. Or maybe I'm going to add a whole new content calendar, guys. I'm not sure, but I really think because Nancy is my everything planner and I have her with me at all times, it's going to be easier for me to keep this together, because it's essentially another client of mine, right? The planner who it's going to be my marketing client, and I'm doing a lot of writing and filming for that client. So I'm essentially going to treat it that way. And so, I think it kind of goes hand in hand, since this side is really what I focus on for my client work. So that is my December spread. I will briefly show you what I'm using the back pages for. This is just usually a brain dump for me. I'll put in notes on post-its and then just kind of stick them on here. If I have my client contract already worked through, I will sometimes go in and create an actual checklist. I'll show you November here, what of the things that are their deliverables. So I'll make these lists out in the back pages, just so that I can visualize it every day, since I do have my paper planner and I like seeing everything in my paper planner, even though I have it in my digital format as well. But hey, the more you can see it, the more it's all over your face. There is no missing and getting it done. So that's one of the big things that I do like to have, digital and paper, and making it work for me. And then another tip I did get from the Laurel Denise YouTube channel. They have a lot of great content on how to move into your planner, and that's where I got a lot of the sticky note system, and it's really helped me in moving into my planner and adjusting my planner system to fit, my specific goals. But one of the other tips was having this longer post-it and every month. That way, again, that not having to commit just yet, this is coming up, and you're just taking notes as you go. So let's say you're in November, and then you're like, oh, that's coming up in December, you write it down. Now you're in December, and now like, hey, 12/1, I have a call that I know is scheduled, so let me put that down. So now you're really filling in your system and making it work. So let me just finish showing you guys here. I got a little distracted on my new inserts here. But as you can see, I did my first week already. This is the structure that I've been using. So you can see I do go in and I will do a little bit of color coding for the scheduling of my husband. Sometimes I'm very off, because since I did this like 3 months in advance, the greens and the grays are all a little bit different. So if you're really specific on how your color coding system is, then I would suggest to wait for that month, right, or week that you're moving in. My brain is kind of like, it doesn't matter to me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's just how my brain works. But as we're kind of like excited to close out the year, I'm honestly not being really picky about it. And I'm also trying new brands of highlighters that I'm liking, which these are actually really fun. But anyway, so what I like to do is I will give my days or my weeks just kind of a little bit of a color header, just to kind of know like, okay, he's off on this Sunday, Monday, but now we're transitioning from having him off to a work week. So all of my days change based off of that, right? Meal preps, when I pack his lunch, all of that fun wifey things, all of that changes based on his calendar. And then my workout schedule will also change, my meal plan days, all of that fun stuff. So I do like to have that at least set up every week, which I already do. And then I do draw my main line, because this is where I will put in all of the main appointments or scheduled items there. You can see sometimes I'll kind of jump ahead and like write it down. If I'm out of my office and I don't have my post-its or I forgot to take my post-its with me, I will write it down. And now I'm just like, dang, how am I going to cover this up and make it look pretty? But we'll figure it out the next week. But at least I know that it's there. And same thing, I'll kind of just have a sticky note with what's to come that week, all of that fun stuff, and then writing things down. Sometimes I'll use erasable ink, which would probably be ideal when you're kind of changing your layout out. But there is no perfect in planning, which we have learned, as long as it works for you. So that is kind of my walkthrough for December and how I'm moving in. So again, aligning it with my bigger goals and due dates. One thing I will share is when I'm done, so let's say the first week of December is done, I will go back into my rows and I will take this post-it out and write it in so that I get the satisfaction of checking it off and scratching it out. My mind just find so much joy in that. So I do love to do that. And that way at the end of the month, there's not this many post-its kind of like sticking up if I've been moving them around a lot. But it also, I can go back and reference and be like, I totally got that done and scratch that out. And slowly but surely, my bigger goals and project list is going slower, getting shorter and shorter. So that is how I'm connecting both. And I'm very excited to finish out my December and really see how these inserts are going to work for me in my content planning journey. So, again, if you guys have some fun ideas, I am totally open to them. And I'm excited to see what you guys think I should do for my content calendar, or if you have ideas on maybe I can lay it out a little bit differently. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So that is my December spread. So essentially, it'll look something like this once I redesign this and get it a little bit more organized and make it a little bit prettier. I will go ahead and do that, and then I'll get some pictures for you guys so I can share those pictures on my Instagram once it's fully laid out. So if this layout might work for you, you can get some ideas and inspo. But this is what essentially it's going to look like. Another thing I like to add is I don't usually use a lot of stickers in my planning. I tried to at the very beginning because I wanted it to just be like, oh, look at this, it's fun, it's fun. And I see so many spreads that look beautiful with stickers, but I'm just a more functional planner. I will try to use stickers here and there, as you can see, like if something is exciting because I love my owls, or, just trying to add a little bit of color with some washi tape, I will do that for sure. A lot of the stickers that I use is more in my journaling, but not in my planning. So I like to just kind of keep it real simple and functional. If I do want to add some stickers or more color, I will wait for my month to at least be completed and know at least what's coming up briefly in my week, so that then I can say like, okay, I can add a little snowman here, or I'll add a little snowflake here, but it has to be after I'm completely done. That's just my brain. I don't know if you guys are like that as well. But I just like more of a minimal look in my planners, and that's why I got all of the Laurel Denise stickers that are itty bitty and tiny and so cute. So you'll see like the tidy up. So I'm going to add these in like for my cleaning when I'm cleaning on my days, because they're just so small. And these little cupcakes, they are also just so tiny. So I'm excited to implement stickers, but they do have to be little, they have to be minimal, just so that it works with my brain. I can't have it too much. I feel like I already mismatch a lot of my colors sometimes, so it might be too much if I start adding a lot more stickers. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be one of the goals I have for 2026, is just to be a little bit more spontaneous and add some color and spunk to my planners. But first and foremost, as long as it's functional, my deadlines are there. I see this every day, so my brain just has to really focus in on it. So I'm excited about trying that out. But for now, this is my December spread. So if you guys are shopping Laurel Denise this holiday season, I am a very proud affiliate and would truly appreciate if you use the Planner Hoot 10 code. I'm linking all of the links to the planners that I currently use below. I will put my code there as well, and that gives you 10% off of your purchase, and that's for planners and accessories. I've also linked my freebies that I have on my Stan store. So if you're contemplating which planner you want to use, or maybe you do want to use two different planners, I do have a guide on how to make that decision, and it would be, of course, the best decision for you. But ultimately, I truly appreciate you being here and watching my planning system. I hope you have some kind of spark to get you going and planning those 2026 goals and getting a planner that's going to work for you, whether it is Laurel Denise or a notebook or any other brand. I'm just happy to be part of your planning journey and hope that whether it's my layout or my system, you can implement it in your own. So I hope you all find that joy in planning just as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. Plan with purpose, protect your peace, and go win your week.